Hey guys, we are going to talk about the product life cycle a little bit more this week. I know you guys were able to watch some videos about the product life cycle and answer some questions about that last week. So we are going to continue and dive a little bit further into this topic about product life cycles. Alright, so basically these are the steps. You start with design. This is when you create a product, when you first decide what kind of product you need and what kind of problem it's going to solve. Then you have to find your materials. This is called materials acquisition. Then you have to process those raw materials and make them into something usable. That is called materials processing. Then you have to manufacture those into the product. That's called manufacturing. Then you're going to package those that product into a package of some sort. That's called packaging. Then there's distribution. This is where it gets shipped and put into trucks, trains, planes to go to stores and final use customers. This is called distribution. And then there's use. This is when you actually use the product. And then eventually they'll become, it'll come to the part where you will reuse, recycle, or you will dispose of your product. Now in this example they use the CD. I know the CD-ROM is a little bit old school, but let's just go with it. Design is the first step in the product life cycle. This is where engineers and designers come up with, model, and test a product before they actually mass produce it. And then again, we're going to use the CD as an example throughout this video. Designing the CD, engineers used the design process to create the CD. So they went through all of these steps and they came up with a CD. Materials acquisition is the next step in the product life cycle. All products are made from various raw materials, okay? And those have to be acquired. So people have to go and mine for these resources depending on what kind of resources you're using for your product. The materials in a CD, aluminum, polycarbonate, lacquer, gold, dyes, and then several others. So all of these materials must be acquired first. Then those raw materials get processed. So materials extracted from the earth must be converted into a form that is useful for making products. Example, wood is made into paper after several different manufacturing processes. Okay, this is called materials processing. Processing for a CD. Mine materials must be processed. Don't know how to say this word. Bauxite, I think, turned into aluminum. Crude oil combined with natural gas and chemicals to make plastic. The next step is manufacturing. Products are made in factories that use a lot of energy. Okay? Manufacturing also creates waste and contributes to the production of greenhouse gases. In the manufacturing stage of a CD, you are using injection molding, a metallicizer, which is a reflective layer of metal. I think I mispronounced that. Lacquer, protective coating, putting all of these things together to create a CD. Packaging is your next step in the product life cycle. Product packaging undergoes a separate manufacturing process. This also uses energy and consumes natural resources. CD packaging, jewel cases, this is our example, remember? Cardboard boxes, shrink wrapping. Sorry, I went too fast. Let me go back. There we go. Distribution is our next step. Manufactured products are transported to the location where they are sold. Materials and parts used to make products are transported at earlier stages in the life cycle. All transportation uses energy and creates greenhouse gases. So it's important to understand how creating products and using products and disposing of products impact our environment. So our example, CD distribution, sent to distribution center by plane, train, truck. All of this uses fossil fuels for energy. Use. The way products are used impacts our environment. Reusable, durable, and recyclable products conserve natural resources. This uses less energy and creates less waste. So, using a CD, if properly stored and handled, CDs can last for decades. I still have CDs, and CDs came out a really long time ago. So that is very true. Take care of discs by keeping them out of sunlight and away from heat and water. Then we're going to move on to the reuse, recycle, or disposal stage in the product life cycle. Recycling or remanufacturing products into new commodities saves energy and reduces the raw materials used in the manufacturing process. Throwing products in the trash ends their useful life. Reuse a CD. So, for example, this stage of the product life cycle, with our example, the CD, you could reuse it. You could share it with a friend. Okay? You could also recycle a CD. Recycling companies make CDs into raw materials to make other plastics, office equipment, jewel cases. We recycle, we use CDs in our class for projects and things. So this is how the CD is doing this part of the product life cycle. Sorry, that was a little. Oof. All right, moving on. So, life cycle of a CD. To review, design is the first step. Somebody had to originally engineer what a CD was going to be, what kind of product, what kind of raw materials we needed to make a CD, what it was going to do, what problem it was going to solve. Then we have to acquire the materials. Then we have to process those materials. Then we have to manufacture those materials into a product. Then we have to package our product. Then we have to distribute our product, use our product eventually, and then reuse, recycle, or dispose of our product eventually. This is another example. I know the entire time we were using the CD as our example, but now just a quick look at the paper life cycle. You have your materials acquisition. This is where we start. We started with the design, how we were going to invent paper, but then we go to the materials acquisition stage. Take those materials and then we process those materials. We debark, chip, refine, and then we manufacture paper using paper making machines. Okay, and then we use the print and we take the paper and we distribute it. Okay. And then eventually we are going to dispose of or recycle. In this case, they did a recycle here where you could take the paper and you can make it back into paper. Okay, and those are our steps. And then just to review the product life cycle steps: design, materials acquisition, materials processing, manufacturing, packaging, distribution, use, and then finally reuse, recycle, or disposal. Guys, that is all we have to discuss for right now. So if you guys could, there is a link on Canvas with an exit ticket. If you will, complete that exit ticket after you've watched this video so that you can get credit for this assignment. Have a wonderful week.